Last week we made pork dumplings with fresh ground pork from Terra Firma Farms. This week we're gonna make Char Siu stuffed cornbread muffins. First, we'll be making Char Siu using the pork shoulder from Terra Firma Farms. We'll have to make the marinade first using 2 bean curd cubes, 1 tablespoon of the bean curd cube liquid, 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, half a tablespoon of hoisin sauce, a splash of sesame oil, and finally 2 tablespoons of honey. After you've measured out all your marinade ingredients, you're going to want to whisk it together. So now I'm going to remove the pork shoulder from its bag, and we're going to put it in the vacuum bag and pour in 3/4 of the marinade that we just made, and we're going to save 1/4 of it tomorrow so that we can use it with the glaze when we oven cook it. And now we're going to seal it and put it in our fridge overnight to marinate.
So it's the next day, and we're going to put this in the sous vide at 140 degrees for 10 hours.
Now we're removing the pork from the sous vide and we'll let it rest. While it's resting, we'll start to make the glaze. The ingredients for the glaze are 2 tablespoons of maltose and that 1/4 of your marinade that you saved from before. So I'm gonna use gloves so I can apply this glaze right over the pork shoulder directly to it. You can see it kind of has like a reddish hue. Definitely needs a little more cooking to get the char, but it kind of looks like a Char Siu already. Now we're throwing it in the oven for 30 minutes at 225 degrees Fahrenheit, and after that's done, we'll be using the torch to get a little char.
Next, we're going to make the Char Siu filling for the cornbread, so we need 1 teaspoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil, half a teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to mix a half tablespoon of cornstarch with 3 tablespoons of water. We're going to mix that up a little bit and then add in the Char Siu. After that, we're going to make the cornbread mixture. So we're going to measure out 1 1/3 cup of flour, 1 cup of cornmeal, 1/3 cup of sugar, and a tablespoon of baking powder. We're going to whisk that together to combine. Next we'll be mixing the wet ingredients. So that'll be half a cup of butter melted, 3/4 of a cup of milk, and 2 eggs. Also, I forgot to add the salt in, so you also need 1/4 of a tablespoon of salt. After we whisk to combine that, we're going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients while whisking, and then continue to whisk that until combined. After whisking, we're going to fill these cupcake tins to about 1/3 of the way full with the cornbread mixture, and then add in some of the Char Siu filling. After that, we'll just top it off with the rest of the cornbread mix. We're going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes.
So after letting the muffins cool down a little bit, we decided to plate 1.5 of them to make it look kind of pretty. And now we're gonna try them out and see how they taste for the first time.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
It's very different. I've never had anything like it before. You want to try a bite?
Yep, for sure. Check out the little Char Sius in there. It's full of it. It's like, yeah, it's very different. It's kind of like our other foods we had. It's very like, you can taste the mix. It's like cornbread from the kind of like Southern barbecue, and then got the Chinese influence of the Char Siu, obviously. Wondering if the scallions might help a little bit too. Kind of give that little oniony taste. Tasty. Reminds me almost like a Char Siu bao, if you guys have ever had that at dim sum, but the onion taste is actually really good. So I consider this a success, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.